Houston Astros took it too far with the trash cans. We know that. But stealing signs the regular way, trying to learn. Jack McKeon, the Marlins Hall of Famer, who should be in Cooperstown, had bench players, Andy Fox, Mike Mordecai, winning a World Series. Their one job, because Jack never played his bench, their one job was to steal signs. They are focused on it. They are looking at patterns. They're looking at grips. They're looking at catchers, what they're doing, positioning. They're looking to see if the pitcher is tipping pitches. They're looking at the third baseman coach to see what the indicators are. There's always an indicator. So you're touching your nose and your forehead and your left ear, right ear, and then chin. And there's always an indicator. It's the first sign after the second nose. That's a real thing in baseball. So you go forehead, nose, ear, nose, and now the player knows, K-N-O-W-S, that the next thing that's touched, that's the sign. Forehead means steal. So if it's forehead, that looks like steal, but there's been no indicator. Left ear is bunt. Right ear is stay. Nose, indicator. Right field, stay. Right ear, stay. Anyway, it's an indicator if you know what that is. Did I just explain that well, Coca? Did I misspeak? You look for the indicator, so you study it. That's not cheating. The reason I call it cheating is that you all think that's cheating. It's not. Part of the game. There was a benches clearing incident in the Red Sox-Astros game over sign stealing, and it made me smile. Because for the rest of time, when the Astros are involved in sign stealing, people are going to remind them of the 2017 Astros. I was about to say the 1917, and then I was thinking about the Black Sox. I was thinking about how you can do one thing, and all of a sudden that becomes what is discussed always, except when you talk about the White Sox right now, you're talking about losing $121. You don't often talk about Shoeless Joe Jackson. There'll come a time when the Astros are not associated with garbage cans. It's not today, but there'll come a time. The question is when. And the question is during that interim period, what do you do? Do you not play the game? You have to. You think for 1 second Joey Espada, a great coach who we had with the Marlins, who's doing very well managing the Astros. You think for 1 second that he's not working to try to steal signs? You think that Alex Cora, who was one of the architects of the sign stealing when he was with the Astros under A.J. Hinch and then went to the Red Sox. Remember, he got punished and got taken away from being manager for a year and then brought back because of the garbage can banging? You think Alex Cora all of a sudden is saying, hey, I have found Jesus, baby. We don't need to steal signs. We're good here. Of course they're looking to steal signs. So the Astros pitcher, Hector Neris, thought that the Red Sox were doing something to get their signs. So Neris did something brilliant. When there was a hit batter on second base, who Neris thought, the Astros pitcher, the Red Sox batter on second base, the Astros pitcher said, wait a minute, is he looking at my catcher? Is he somehow relaying positioning, or is he looking inside the glove at the grip to try to get to the batter, whether I'm going to throw off speed or whether I'm throwing the heater? I don't like that. I'm going to balk him over to third base, which you can do. You can make a player leave. You can't make a player steal. You cannot look over, give him a huge lead, beg them to steal. If they don't steal, they don't steal. In baseball, if you balk, the runner advances. And it's not like in football where you get to decline. You know, when you're trying to get better field positioning on a punt and you want 5 yards back for your punting team to get more room to punt the ball out of bounds, and then that delay of game gets declined by the receiving team. And all right, we tried that. We didn't get the extra 5-yard cushion. In baseball, you can't decline a balk. A balk's a balk. And when a balk happens, then the balk means that runner goes to third base, in which case there's no longer any scenario where you've got a second person on second base looking and getting the signs. So listen, it all of a sudden became a big deal when Trevor Story went over to third base, because then he had words. He had words with Mr. Hector Neris, and it caused the benches to clear at the end of the inning. It caused the bullpens to run in side by side. It caused one of the great ironies of Alex Cora on behalf of a team saying, of course it's okay. What do you mean we're not supposed to steal signs? We're good. We've got this. And the reason I enjoyed it so much is that after the game, the media went to Hector Neris and said, hey, what were they doing here? Were the Red Sox stealing signs? And Neris said, maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no. Why would Hector Neris be counseled after the game by the PR department and by his own baseball staff to not accuse the Red Sox of stealing signs? Why would it be beneficial for the Astros to not accuse anyone of stealing signs? Even if the Astros think another team is stealing signs, they're not going to call the commissioner's office. They're not going to say anything publicly. There'll be a plunking for sure. There'll be some balking for sure. There'll be talk internally on a strategy, guaranteed. But publicly, no chance, Toilet Pants. If you are the Astros, that is one of the punishments you have that is a remnant of 2017, is that you are not going to be the team to publicly complain. That said, that was one heck of a story.